Once upon welcome to podcast. Now I'm Alex. In this video, I want to discuss if Doom Eternal's battle mode is too difficult. Now, this is one that I feel like is going to get a lot of hate, possibly very early on. So I do want to just start this off by kind of explaining what I mean by all this. And I guess I could even skip to the end of my own personal opinion. I don't. I do not believe Doom Eternal's battle mode multiplayer is too difficult. I really don't. I do, however, want to have a general discussion about what I've seen, because there are some people out there, especially when I hadn't even played it yet. So I played a bunch yesterday, or I don't even know, depending on which day you guys are watching this video. I played it quite a bit. I tried to get as many rounds in as I could as Demon and Slayer to see, because I had seen other people play it. I had seen video titles on YouTube talking about how this was like the hardest multiplayer mode ever. I had seen people writing about it, and I was like, okay, I want to experience this firsthand. And what I will say is this. I will say this. It's kind of split, because I feel like if you play against somebody who knows what they're doing, this is a very difficult multiplayer, okay? Now, I'm not saying it's too difficult. I'm saying that the very first match I ever played, I was playing as a demon, and the Slayer was like a level 26, and they absolutely, or this one person, absolutely obliterated me and my partner. Now, did I know how to play at that point? No. Would I have won even if I did know how to play? No. I really don't think I actually stood a chance no matter what. And that is the interesting thing, is I feel like it's just that kind of game. So Doom Eternal in general, even its single player mode, is a pretty difficult thing. Doom, I think for the longest time, has kind of been known for that. That this is a shooter that's very high paced. You're constantly moving. You're going into basically like a gauntlet after gauntlet where there's just enemies thrown at you, and you gotta move. You gotta think on your feet. You gotta react. You gotta do all these things very, very quickly. And the higher you go up in difficulties, the harder it's going to be. Just generally, it's going to get very, very difficult. You're going to die quite a bit. Yesterday, I believe we talked about some tips of how to survive on nightmare difficulty, which there's no way I'm going to be able to get through it from beginning to end. But it's a cool challenge. And again, there are people that they're kind of like built for these kind of things, right? To endure this pain, to go through it on nightmare difficulty, and to somehow miraculously survive. And there are ways to do it. When you go into the multiplayer, obviously you're facing people that, again, are humans. They can think for themselves, all that kind of stuff. And again, it comes to a split where when I played, like I said, so the first time I got crushed because the person knew what they were doing. Now, I played a couple rounds as the demon. I personally did get better. I think I lost like every single one, but I did get better. Then I played as the Slayer because I was like, all right, because it kind of contradicted what I had seen. From what I had seen, it kind of looks like the demons really have it, I guess, easier than the Slayer. You definitely have to, you as a Slayer, it's going to be a pretty difficult time if the demons actually know what they're doing. But again, that's just from what I've seen, from what I'd experienced thus far. So I was saying, okay, I want to be the Slayer. I was the Slayer, and the two demons, I could tell very easily had never played. I feel like had never played the mode. They were probably brand new, just like I was 10 minutes before. They weren't spawning any additional demons. They weren't doing any of their abilities, any of their like powers. They weren't doing anything. Okay, they were just firing at me. They were both coming at me at the same time, stuff like that. So it was pretty apparent that they, and I'm not saying like they sucked or I mean, we were brand new to the game, and I obliterated them. Okay, I will be honest. I won all 3 rounds in about like 5 seconds each round. I absolutely destroyed them. But that's where it comes in, is okay, well, if it ever gets to the point, and I think it will, I think it'll take some time, where the Slayer and the demons are on equal grounds. Now, it's going to take some time. The matchmaking, I really don't feel like lined up all that well. Again, the very first match I played as a demon, I was like level 1. The Slayer was like a level 26. Now, I don't think that should ever be a thing where you get matchmaked into that in the first place. So I feel like that's just a problem with their matchmaking. It shouldn't be like that. But say in a perfect world, or say just going down the line, you get matchmaked into it, or everybody's just literally on equal grounds, we're all as good. Is the multiplayer too hard? Well, again, I feel like the answer is no. And I don't know if anybody has necessarily come out and said, is this like just way too difficult? But I feel like there would be, especially in the world we live in right now, gaming journalists, they think that everything is too difficult because they don't know actually how to play games. Now, again, I'm not going to necessarily pick on them for that, because I am really bad at the multiplayer mode as well. So if they struggle with it, that's fine. But then they take it a step further and say, should it be easier? Not just should it, but it should, right? And they kind of have that push. We had that IGN employee who was just really terrible at the game before it came out, like about a month before it came out, if you guys remember that story. So I just feel like if if people have like a slow news day, which does happen quite a bit, especially in the gaming industry right now, I feel like that could be something written about it. I really just don't think it has any merit. It's a game that's completely built off of being difficult. I mean, this is a game, again, you have to think and move and react extremely quickly and on your feet, and the multiplayer is honestly just taking that one step further. It's a pretty decent sized area. You have enough places to run and hide or just run away in general, but 2 major demons, they can spawn an additional, and you have to beat both them within that time limit of one respawning like over the other. So I think, honestly, it's a very, very clever multiplayer experience. I had talked about it leading into this game. I thought that the idea of battle mode was awesome. From the early impressions that I had seen or people playing it, I think there was an IGN employee that talked to the developer and they were playing it. It seemed really, really fun. And it is, I just feel like, again, maybe that is the better question. Like, is it fun? Because I'll tell you this. Well, firstly, I haven't played it all that much, so maybe it's just not the greatest thing for me to say it. But if you guys, value my opinion, or you guys are okay with me just talking to talk at this point, and I definitely do appreciate it. I have not played this very much. I've played maybe 4 or 5 rounds as each of them. So I'm not saying like I'm a master. I'm not saying that I've put in like 100 hours into this. But I think it would be more fun if everybody was on kind of equal footing. Because again, none of the matches, and I'm not saying, and I know I only said like the first matches I was playing of these, none of the matches I played did it seem like I was on the same level as the other person. Again, I'm not tooting my own horn because I'd say half or more than half the time I was the underdog. I was clearly not as good as who I was facing against, and it was obvious. And the other parts of the times, it was very obvious that maybe even not that I was good, it was just the other person were even worse, right? They were just even more bad, and that they were clearly the underdog in an obvious way. So, and to be honest, I didn't necessarily have the most fun. I enjoyed it. I want to go back into it. I'm 1,000% going to go back into it. I just want it to be a little bit better in terms of matchmaking, in terms of everybody being on equal grounds. But I definitely don't think it's too hard. I don't think it's too out there in that way. I love it. I think it's a really, again, I haven't changed my opinion on that. I think it's a really, really clever multiplayer experience. I'm playing it primarily for the single player, but then even if I die too many times as I'm playing it on a harder difficulty or whatever, and I just want to jump into that. Fast-paced, you get in, you get out. The matches are very, very quick for the most part, and I think it's just a really awesome mode. So, guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think the multiplayer mode is too hard? Do you think Doom Eternal, if you want to take it a step further, how do you think of Doom Eternal? Do you think that game is too hard just in general, the single player? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up, and I'll be talking about Doom over the next couple days as well. I would like to do a review either here or on my second channel, which I'll link in the description in case you guys want to check that out as well. Okay, stay safe out there, guys. Make sure everybody's staying safe. If you guys need to reach out and talk to us, you can reach us on YouTube, Twitter, Discord, email, any of those things. Want you guys to all know that we're all in this fight together. Okay, so I hope to see you all on the next video.